It's
We are live.
Are you sure? Are you sure we are?
Welcome, one and all, to the Undisputed Nerds Podcast. I am your host, Senpai Zane. As always, I am joined by my fantastic guest, Gentleman Gamer. How are you, sir?
I'm your guest now. I'm not a co-host anymor.
Guys,
I'm a guest now on the show. I'm not a co-host anymore.
Co-host. Excuse me.
Wow, guys, he is changing everything. Like, for those of you who are not looking at this through a video medium, on audio instead, he's changed this setup, he's changed how things are working, and now he's apparently changing the lineup again. It's unbelievable. Hello, everyone out there in Radio Land. How are we all? How are you, Zane? How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little hungry, if I'm honest. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, dude. I'm all right. I am. You've got me on I went to the beach on Monday just to go off on a little tangent right from the get-go. And again, for those of you on the audio and not the video, if you see me, I am Tipex white, so I am one of the pastiest men you'll ever see in your life. And
Wow.
Frankly, me and a beach and very nice weather. Can I just add? We had a lovely British summer before the rain has kicked back in. The intense heat did not treat me well, so I can only describe myself as being Captain Lobster for the first half of this week, and it's only like yesterday or today that it's finally died down, and you can still see a little bit of remnant of it up on my temple up here. But so yeah, I've been in constant pain all week, which has been great. It's been great. But fortunately, I have had the wonderful nerd universe to like drop myself into, like Loki, that we're going to talk about later. So it's been a lovely week.
Beautiful. As you mentioned, we will be dropping into some Loki Easter eggs and breakdowns. Make sure you stick around because we've got a question. I should be looking up here. We've got a question for you to drop your comments in at the end of the show. So make sure you stick around till the end.
You shouldn't have changed it. You shouldn't have changed it. It feels like you're a newsreader.
I know. I feel like
technically you are.
Tonight at 10.
Yeah. I like it, man. I like it. You're evoking some BBC vibes.
That British broadcast.
Yes, the British Broadcasting Corporation specifically sent by. You need another espresso.
I do, don't I?
He's told me he's trying to get a lucrative George Clooney Nespresso deal, guys, before the show. So you may see him just pulling out a little Nespresso in a minute. We'll get back into the Kota Ibushi conversation again at some point. So you've got to be careful with these kind of things.
Wowzers.
What's first, Zane? What's first?
So, some super hot news. I don't know if you've seen this already, but the Supergirl, not the complete outfit, but partial piece of the outfit has been revealed on the director's social media. Now, for those who haven't seen this, it's essentially a picture of a close-up of the costume itself, but more specifically the S shield, revealing all the textures and replicating the same style as Henry Cavill's. Why are you laughing?
Because that's the point. That's exactly the point. Are we really sure this is a new outfit, or is this just not an old stock footage of Henry they've just thrown up there with his big barrel chest? I mean, it could go either way, couldn't it, really? Let's be honest. This is hot. This is like literally came out just like a couple of hours ago, didn't it? We're filming on a Friday
before we went live.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The one thing I will say is I don't know how I feel about the fact that like they're carrying on with. I say that a lot. I don't know how I feel about a lot of things, but it is interesting that they're sticking with that word, kind of like weird mesh Snyder-esque. Because I very much attribute that Superman look with the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
And obviously Snyder is now not part of it really anymore. And so it's interesting that they want to continue on with that particular style. I wonder if they're gonna. Is this for the Supergirl movie? Sorry, I didn't actually see if that was what it was for, or if it's for a new show.
So not specifically. This is for the Flashpoint movie.
Oh, that was it. That was what it's for. Sorry. Yeah.
The director has been posting the logos or the centerpieces of the outfits, and this is the third.
No. I've looked weak so in front of the nerd universe. Oh no, I didn't know my stuff. I feel bad now. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense then. But yes, I mean, it's an outfit, isn't it? Ultimately, and you the thing about it is with a lot of these outfits is that you can't. There's only so much you can mix it up, and then have it look completely different. You know. So
exactly.
What did you think about it?
I think the other part of it as well, kind of going back to what you were saying, is that textualizing superhero costumes make it feel more real and less sort of hokey pokey and cartoony. So yeah, adding all those textures and ribbing and lining and whatnot is supposed to make it feel more real, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. There you go. To me, that makes it feel more alien than anything. Yeah. Because who the hell goes around wearing that kind of outfit? Like, you don't. I personally don't. I mean, depending on what day of the week it is, I don't personally go around wearing a mesh shirt. But no, I the irony of that is I find that kind of outfit and that kind of look makes things look more alien than they do reality grounded. But there you go. Maybe that's just me. I might be a cult.
It always reminds me of I don't know if you've ever seen it, but you can get like ribbed.
Careful.
Ribbed like chinos
chinos, yeah, right. Yeah. Cool. I was trying to think of a PC version that was going to end that sentence. We're live, folks. There's no going back.
There's no filter.
Exactly. It's a dangerous game we're playing.
Talking of dangerous games, seamless segue.
Absolutely seamless.
Did you see the E3 reveal of Guardians of the Galaxy?
I saw a lot of things about E3. I was very excited about a lot of things at E3. Guardians, yes, I was excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I was more excited about the Avengers game, which then turned out to be all right. But, I mean, I'm assuming you've got past the first 2 minutes after the last time we spoke about it, which was about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, but not finished it.
Right. Okay. It's Square Enix again, isn't it? Doing the Guardians game. I would be more excited if Avengers had turned out, really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Guardians. They're great.
I feel there's a but. Come on.
No.
Talk to me. What's get off your chest? Come on.
There's lots of buts, but it's not, it's not related necessarily to this. No. They also announced that they were going to put Black Panther in Avengers, which I thought you were going to talk about, which is pretty cool. But again, I saw like the gameplay footage looked really cool and it looked really fluid and it looked really great. The same thing looked exactly the same as the Avengers, which looked really fluid and looked really great and looked really cool. Until I know that it's not going to be a looter shooter again, and it's not going to be this like progressive like. I'm not sure on the details of whether or not that they've announced any kind of like progression system or how it's going to work in the game itself. But I'm very skeptical at the moment with Square Enix, which is annoying because they've done some of my favorite games ever. I'm still bitter. So I'm a huge fan of the Deus Ex franchise.
Yeah.
So I loved Human Revolution and I enjoyed Mankind Divided a lot. And I wanted them to keep going with it. And they've basically been put indefinitely on hold because of the Marvel deal that Square Enix made to produce games for them.
Yeah.
So I was very ambivalent about the fact that like I love Marvel and I'm super excited to play some cool Marvel games, but I also love Deus Ex and I don't really want them to stop making those. And then the fact that this is now like Avengers turned out not great. It's the fact that I'm more excited. So here's a hot piece of news for you. the fact that I am more excited about an upcoming mobile Marvel game called Marvel Future Revolution, which is by a company called Netmarble, who did Future Fight.
Yes,
which I've been playing recently as well, because I'm trying to branch out from Marvel Strike Force, which I play quite religiously, because I hate you, Scopely. You drive me crazy. But Future Rev looks amazing. It looks really, really good. There was an old game called Marvel Heroes, which it was like a big MMO, which used to be on. You could get it on Steam and a lot of other platforms. They shut it down a few years ago. Basically, Future Revolution looks like the new Marvel Heroes, but it's mobile version, and it looked great, Senpai. It looks really good. I was going to talk to you about it actually, like offline. But yeah, you got to sign up for this, man. It looks fantastic. You basically have like you can get like you can get loads of people coming together and doing world bosses and stuff like that. So I saw this, Maestro, the comics, like it's the evil. Yeah, so Maestro is the ruler of Sakaar, and I saw there's like a world fight where like loads of heroes have to go and take him down because he's so powerful. Stuff like that. It looks really good. I was like, this looks super fluid and super cool. And you can like customize your gear and stuff and make all your characters look like they've all got different components and different parts. So you can have like, I think they showed like Star-Lord in like Iron Man armor. And it just looks great. So yeah, anyway, that's what I'm more excited for than the Guardians of the Galaxy game, if I'm perfectly honest with you. There were a lot of announcements at E3 that I was super excited for, but this was kind of like I felt a bit mediocre about it, to be honest with you. What about you? Are you excited for it?
A little bit. I really like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I really enjoyed Bendis's run on the comic book series. In terms of the look, it does capture the similar style to the Avengers play to service type model. But in terms of the actual gameplay, it really did remind me a lot of Deus Ex, because there's that whole interaction with the characters and multiple choice option conversations.
Yeah. No, I just okay. Let me ask you this then.
Mm-hmm.
If this was a different IP, like if this was, for example, I don't know, like The Runaways instead of Guardians of the Galaxy, would you be as excited for it?
No.
There you go. It should stand up on its own without needing to carry the weight of an IP. Does that make sense? And for me, it just didn't look good enough to be able to kind of carry the weight of that Guardians IP. But that's just me. That's my jaded, narrow, negative view on life that I have.
I'm sure the story is going to be cool. Like, the Avengers story is good, and same with PS4 Spider-Man. The story's absolutely flawless.
That really is that's as far as Marvel games are concerned. The Spider-Man games, the Insomniac Spider-Man games are really excellent. Like, they are still the peak of what we're talking about here. That's the one. So you and I have that like unwritten war of like Xbox versus PlayStation. Yes. And that's definitely the feather in your cap. 100% is that Spider-Man game is a PS4 exclusive and is really, really good. But Xbox has Bethesda now, so you're toast.
Yeah, it's a shame that we got Miles, isn't it? Not.
I'm just waiting for you to come crawling back to Xbox. It'll happen one day. I'm absolutely sure of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Sorry, moving on. Speaking of cancelling PlayStation, what's happening with Lego Batman?
Yes, so Lego Batman. Got some notes here. Bear with.
They've cancelled it, haven't they? They've cancelled Lego Batman 2.
That's right. So Lego Batman Movie 2 has been cancelled, but more specifically, the sequel script details have been revealed. So details such as this would focus more on Batman and his relationship with the Justice League.
Yeah.
And more specifically, his relationship with Superman.
So, I mean, this is just classic cancel culture coming out, isn't it? They're being prejudiced against a man who dresses as a bat, and they've decided, no, sorry, you can't do that in today's society. So they've just cancelled him. It's just uncalled for, and especially the fact that he's a Lego toy. It's just added into it. Absolutely disgraceful. You're not allowed to be a plastic person and dress as Batman. No, I think it's disgusting. Absolutely outrageous. Disgusting. It is. It's absolutely outrageous. I mean, I'm not like. How disappointed are you about this?
A little bit. I really like the Lego Batman movie. I thought it was really cool. It's really funny. I was always skeptical that it would make too much fun out of Batman. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the whole Robin dynamic and all that jazz. But I actually really enjoy it. It's it does a great job of exploring the Bat family and the villains, his relationship with them. But
I got such a weird feeling about it because I actually this is a controversial hot take, guys. I actually prefer Lego Batman in the Lego movie.
Oh.
Like not in his own movie. I preferred him. Like I watched Lego Batman and I was like, yeah, it's okay. And you know, like they're very heavily leaning into the comedy side of Batman, obviously, because it's a kids' cartoon.
Yeah.
But I preferred him in like when he was the badass in Lego, like in the Lego movie. It was great. It was fantastic. He just took everything seriously. I mean, obviously he did it in his movie as well, but like it contrasted really well with the Lego movie. That you would have like a mainstay character like Batman just be randomly Lego figure in this whole big wide movie, and I really liked him in that. I enjoyed the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie, but I'm not completely. The amount of Batman content we've got coming up, I'm not choked that this is going. If that makes sense, you know, not just movies either. I'm talking about games as well, like and cartoon series and stuff. There's a lot of Batman over the next couple of years. And if Matt Reeves' Batman becomes successful as well, that's going to be even worse. It's going to be so much more after that. Because everyone's going to want to do a new take on this new Batman. So, yeah.
That's true. The only other thing I'm kind of sad we're going to miss out on is, one, it was written by Dan Harmon. I know he's one of the co-writers, I should say. So it would have been definitely funny. And secondly, Channing Tatum would have returned as Superman, which would
I thought you were going to say, and as a result of that, Chevy Chase was not going to be involved in it. I was like, yeah, cool. Is this your latest thing? Is it Channing Tatum? Is that the latest guy? Is that it?
No.
Why is it Channing Tatum above everyone else that you're unhappy is not coming back?
I mean, he's been offered superhero roles left, right, and center, and we still haven't seen him in a good superhero role.
So is Josh Hartnett, but you don't hear me complaining about that.
I mean,
so is Armie Hammer. You don't hear me complaining about that.
Yeah, but who wants to see Armie Hammer as like Batman?
He's great. He would have been
a bit overrated.
He would have been excellent. Yeah, sure. No worries, Batfleck. We all know who you want to see as Batman. Let it go, Zane. Robert Pattinson's the future, my friend. I can't stop watching that trailer. By the way, I cannot stop watching that Batman trailer. Like it's one of the. I'm putting it live. I'm putting it out there now. That the trailer for Matt Reeves' The Batman is one of the greatest trailers ever created. It's so good. It gives you so much that you want to see, and yet leaves so many questions that you have to go and see the movie to get the answers. I'm so unbelievably stoked for that film. I can't even begin to. I'm worried that I'm getting too excited for it now. Like it is literally it is seriously, Zane. Like we're talking like end game level of excitement for me on Matt Reeves' Batman. I am that excited about it. Because it's finally we're going to get to like see Batman working with the police. Like we're finally going to get to see that aspect of it. We're finally going to get to see year 2 instead of just the beginning or the end. Sorry. Hijacking. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. One thing that heroes don't do is
I know what's coming next, guys. Sorry, my apologies.
So, as a lot of people may have seen,
make this PG.
Because it was trending.
Make this PG. on a live stream.
I'm really going to try to. As this was trending on Twitter, it was revealed that a scene was cut from the Harley Quinn show due to decisions from up high. And as in up high, we're talking Warner Brothers Studios / DC, that certain acts can't be played out by Batman due to being the phrase or quote that was used is "heroes don't do that."
Okay, you're being so vague and like skirting around it. Why don't we just get to the nub of the matter? Set the scene, senpai. Light the candles. Get the wine. Batman and Catwoman are in a relationship that is on and off, and has been very, very consistently on and off in the comic books. We all know it. We're all aware that the Bat and the Cat have a thing. What we're not aware of is what the Bat and Cat sex life is like. And let's just say that, there were some oral sessions going on between Batman and Catwoman. And apparently, executives at DC were not happy about that situation. And the prospect of Batman doing the dive on Catwoman was treated with the comment of "heroes don't do that." And I believe the response was given. I wasn't the response given. I don't have the quote in front of me, but wasn't the response given something like, "What? So just because he's a superhero, that means he has to be a selfish lover?" And then I think they did. They say, "No, it's just we try and sell toys off of this, and it's going to be very hard to market after that." They haven't thought about the merchandise ideas on this. Lovehoney.co.uk comes to mind. The new Batman tongue twirler coming.
Wow. Do you remember that Jar Jar Binks like?
What? Finish that sentence and don't do that hand gesture.
There was a figure, a toy, that used to be able to get from
don't do that gesture
Crisp brand in the UK, and it had a elastic tongue, and it would stick to things that you could flick at it and whatnot.
And this has been our live broadcast. Thanks, everybody. Sorry about the Loki stuff, but we have to end here. Yes, I do remember what you're talking about. It's almost like a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Good.
Great.
Wonderful. I have never seen Zane so awkward, guys. This is genuinely.
I'm waiting for YouTube police to jump in and shut this down.
Cut off our stream. We haven't said anything wrong. We've not said anything that is not factually accurate in regards to the story. And I did my best to skirt around the
certain words.
Let's just say that Batman is a cunning linguist. Anyway, moving on.
So Loki turns out to be the best streamed series on Disney.
Yeah, boy. I'm so happy about this. Yes.
Apparently no figures were distributed, but the chairman of Disney have confirmed that numbers are good.
The timekeepers of Disney have confirmed that all is right in the streaming flow. Yes. I mean, I've said this to you for a while. This was the most hyped show I was looking forward to as far as the Marvel and TV universe, cinema, the MCU. This was the one I was looking forward to the most, and it has not disappointed. And I am happy that it is getting the representative figures to show that, because based on these first 2 episodes that we've had, I have loved this series. I thought it's been consistently, as I say, 2 episodes in, but it's been really good, really, really good. And so I'm super happy to see it being reflected in the figures.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And I'm looking forward to more series like this. I just hope it means that we will get other characters. I know we will be seeing She-Hulk and what was the other one actually? Moon Knight.
Oh, there's loads
coming down later down the line.
Yeah, it's not just that though, is it? There's Armor Wars.
Yes.
What If? Obviously, we talked about What If very briefly. I'm trying to think of the other ones they announced. They announced quite a few, but yeah, Ironheart. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. Ms. Marvel.
Of course, yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I'm the only thing I will say is that I'm just got this one is like really like this one is setting the scene for where the MCU is going to go, and I wonder if that's why a lot of people are tuning into it. I wonder how much of it is the popularity of Tom Hiddleston as Loki, because let's face it, everyone loves Tom Hiddleston as Loki, including me a lot. But like, also like it is literally going to play out where we're going with Phase 4. Like this is the route that we're going down. So I'm wondering if that's a lot of the draw for people, even casual fans, to be like, well, I've got to know because I'm going to go and see movies this year. And I'm going to go and see the Eternals, and I'd quite like to know what's going on before I get to it, because I wonder if people are going to, we don't know canonically speaking where the Eternals is going to fit in with everything.
Yeah.
We know that Black Widow's before Infinity War, obviously, so that's kind of its own separate thing. Unless they start to throw, that's the other thing I was wondering with Black Widow, was I was wondering if they're going to start throwing in little precursors of stuff that's going to show up either in Loki or in the wider MCU as a whole. Like we don't, Yelena Belova or whatever her name is, I don't know whether she's actually going to be the new Black Widow, post Endgame. It's all getting a bit timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey.
I kind of hope she is, if I'm brutally honest. But yeah, like you say, I hope it does kind of sow some seeds for something a little bit further down the line in terms of... I know everyone kind of talks about the Namor Easter egg from Infinity War, even just mentoring like C-plates, movements and stuff.
I mean, a lot of people say that's a Namor Easter. Is it really a Namor Easter egg though? Or is it like, I mean, I appreciate the fact that, the beautiful thing about the MCU is that we nerds can make podcasts about stuff, overanalyzing every single detail. Like, what is it? The devil's in the detail. That's not the only place he is. Yeah, well, it's not in WandaVision either, is it? So like I respect the fact, but has I don't think Marvel have ever come out and said, oh, by the way, that's it's a little Namor. Discuss away, guys. I don't think they've ever said that, have they?
Nah.
So then, I don't think Feige's not an idiot, and the biggest addition. Sorry, X-Men fans, but the biggest addition to the MCU in the next few years will be the Fantastic Four. That they've announced the movie. If they're coming, how they get introduced, I don't know. But I personally am looking forward to the Fantastic Four showing up for various reasons. Firstly, being that they haven't had a really good representation on screen ever.
Yeah.
I think Rise of the Silver Surfer was not a terrible movie, but it wasn't a really good movie either. and they need it. Like, Fantastic Four needs a facelift, man, and they need something really good. Yeah. So there's that. And the Rogues Gallery that they bring with them is just fantastic. I mean, you're talking Doctor Doom, you're talking Galactus, you're talking the Annihilation Wave, you're talking, like Kang the Conqueror. He's already introduced. He's already coming as well to Ant-Man. So, like, they're the next big thing. Having Namor in there as well is a possibility because he's quite closely linked to Sue Storm and the Fantastic Four. So, what would probably be more likely, I would suggest, is Fantastic Four will happen, and then either in a sequel to Fantastic Four or as part of the wider MCU as a whole, Namor will be introduced. Quite closely with that group, because Namor's the most kind of like, down the line superhero you can have in terms of kind of the MCU. You know, he plays both good and bad.
Yeah,
because he really doesn't care about the surface world at all. He's not Aquaman. You know, so yeah, I don't see Namor coming into anytime soon. But I went off on a massive tangent, and I apologize, Senpai. You should
no problem. We can use it as content later on. Don't worry. So
thanks. Yeah, thanks. By the way, I just want to point this out now whilst we're live on the stream. Thanks for doing all those clips of me being wrong. I appreciate that very much. I looked at the clips that you made from last week's stream, but basically Senpai controls all the clip making and editing because he's a very talented man, and I am just the talent. Yeah, he made a bunch of clips last week, which is basically him being right and me being wrong. So I appreciate that very much. Thanks very much, Zane.
I think someone even put it in the comments as well, and I wasn't going to tell you. I was like,
what is
it?
It won't knock my confidence. I don't care. Okay, you know me. I've got a big mouth anyway. That's probably what else they put in the comments. But did it say something like he doesn't like being wrong? Because if that's the case, it's probably my brother-in-law who's listening. Thanks, Terry.
Drop a like and a follow. So, moving on to breaking down and Easter eggs. Today, we'll be looking at, of course, all the Easter eggs and bits and pieces that came up in today's Loki? This week's Loki episode.
Today's Loki.
We'll say that again.
Today's Loki episode.
Of course, there will be spoilers. So if you haven't seen Loki episode 2 just yet, make sure you go see it and then come back. There will be time codes so you know where exactly to pick up. Okay. So, can we talk about...
I'm just waiting for you to go through because I don't want to step on any toes with I'm sure you're going to bring this up.
Can we talk about this fad of hearing "Holding Out for a Hero" by Bonnie Tyler?
Bonnie Tyler, yeah, Dyler. we all love her, lovely Dyler. Yeah.
This is the third time this week that I've seen or heard this song played, because I'll tell you what, the first time was the He-Man trailer for Netflix.
We could get a rare Senpai Zane rant here. I think we are, guys. Strap in, let's go. I'm ready for this. Go for it.
Time codes are available. So this is the first time was the He-Man remastered trailer.
You better clip it. Go on.
The second time is the Guardians of the Galaxy game at E3. And then, again, the third time this week, this bloody Loki episode opens with, "I need a hero."
YouTuber calling. You said bloody on live. How does that make you feel, Zane?
If it's in a bargain bin, or if it's free licensed music that we can all use on our Twitch and streams, then I shouldn't complain. We can all use it now.
You don't think this could chance be something to do with a licensing agreement to use the songs, use that song, and potentially it was coming up, and they went, "Oh no, we need to shoehorn this into as many properties as possible to show that we've still got the license and can keep it for another 10 years."
I mean, the last time I heard it was Shrek 2 back in 2004.
There you go. That's definitely what it is. Then it's definitely a licensing once every 15 years. Well, because that's what I mean. We laugh, but there is something to be said about that, because obviously the rights for certain things, look at Marvel properties, for example, like Daredevil, for example. They had to have made another, Fox had to have made another Daredevil movie in order for it to cut, so that it wouldn't revert back to Marvel. So maybe it's they've licensed, maybe the record company has licensed it out to Disney or whoever it might be, to say, you can use this song, but you've got to use it at least, in at least 50 different scenarios before, the end of 50 years or whatever, or else it comes back to us. I don't know. It's so stupid.
I know the opening was playing a sort of double tundra with it in terms of needing a hero, but is the variant Loki the actual hero instead of the TVA? So it is a sort of subtext as such.
And you love it.
Mm.
I've not seen you this angry about something for a long time. You're raging on that.
I think I'm a little bit hungry as well.
Is it hanger?
Yeah, I think it might be a little hanger.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. Oh, yes. Said by Zane, smash. Good. Cool. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It didn't really. I mean, it didn't particularly. It was a 1985 Renaissance fair to fit in with the 80s. You know, that's the question. I think. I did watch I watched a new Rockstar video on like Easter eggs and stuff about Loki, and they did say, you know, it is a really good point, which I will reiterate on this podcast. So shout out to new Rockstars. Did Lady Loki have the time to just like reprogram the audio for that tent? Like, what did she just like specifically take the time to replay all the audio and just do her own little thing for it, or was that the actual music they were using at the Renaissance fair? Because either one of those things is really weird. But yeah.
Also, the town that event was based in was the same as the creator of the TVA in the comics, Mark Gruenwald, I believe it's pronounced. But that was a nice little Easter egg.
I did not know that. Interesting. Look at that. You're hitting me with the hard comic facts this evening.
Ooh, you want another one? Because here it comes.
I don't know a lot about the TVA, to be honest with you. In the books, like not a lot of the Marvel books that I've read have actually had them included in. So I don't know whether they just not stopped being used, but were dialed down more in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Like I don't know what their last run was.
Yeah, I think it was maybe the 70s or the 80s. They appeared in like a Thor comic book run. So it's quite ironic that they would be used for a Loki TV series. But,
absolutely.
I don't think they've been used an awful amount of
an awful lot. Yeah, I guess it does get a bit plot holy when you start involving time travel and, you know, variants and, you know, Nexus events, those kind of things. So yeah, I can imagine them wanting to steer. You already have like dimensional rifts and like, you know, massive, like, you know, secret wars and goodness knows what else that are happening in the comics. I guess you don't want to throw in time travel into that because, you know, comics canon is not really it's a complicated beast, isn't it?
Absolutely. Talking of being complicated, we find out that Mobius wants to get a jet ski. Now,
well, he doesn't want to get one, does he? He just loves
dreams of using in jets.
Yeah, he's obsessed with them. Yeah, it's an interesting.
Do you think we get to see him on the jet ski?
I have a theory about Mobius that I will save until the end of this talk about this episode. But after watching this week's episode, it's even more. I'm even more sure of it than I was before. Maybe I did find it funny how like I thought we were going to see it in this episode because they were going to a hurricane like Armageddon, and I was like, is he going to ride a jet ski in the hurricane? That would be amazing.
Spoiler alert. I can only imagine that this will. Oh, go on.
I said spoiler alert. It didn't happen. Sorry, that's all I was going to say. We should probably say spoilers, by the way, guys, for Loki if you haven't seen it. If you're on a stream, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. My apologies. My apologies. I was about to say if you're watching a live stream for Loki Easter eggs and stuff and you haven't seen it, you're probably not in the right place, guys.
I kind of wondered if it'd either go one of two ways. Either he will die later on in the series in Loki's arms, and he'll be like, "I never got to ride on that jet ski," and then everyone cries. Wow. Or the other thing I thought of was maybe he will end up on a jet ski, just like the front cover of Punisher's War Journal.
That was Punisher's War Journal, in case you guys didn't get that, because he broke out. I say? No, you just started laughing halfway through. It sounded like you said wall or something. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Great cover.
It's a great cover. How funny would it be if the timekeepers are revealed and one of them is riding a jet ski through space? That'd be excellent.
New spin on Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, can you imagine Ghost Rider on a jet ski? Oh, that'd be amazing. And he's like steaming up the water because of the fire. Oh, that would be so good.
Taking out pirates.
That's the future. That just made me think of the Simpsons thing where they do like they've got like a spin on Knight Rider and it's Night Boat. it's
oh
do you remember that?
Vaguely.
There's always a dam or an estuary or a reservoir that Night Boat can go into to save the day.
Oh boy.
All right, anyway, sorry, that really sent my mind in a random direction. Sorry.
We got to see a list of Lokis, or Loki variants, I should say, which include a blue Loki, so probably one that's accepted his frost giant appearance.
I was going to say, isn't that what he looks like normally? Like, if he's not... Because I can't remember whether he's... I guess it's never really established whether his blue skin is like his natural appearance and whether the white skin is an illusion.
I think they did something in the first Thor movie.
Because, he gets picked up by Odin and then turns into Thor as we know him now as a baby. Because he's blue skinned when he gets picked up. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It's probably he's probably the ruler of was it
Jotunheim?
Jotunheim, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. He's probably the ruler of that. He's probably King Loki of Jotunheim.
We also got to see a Tour de France Loki. We got to see what looks like a Hulk Loki, as well as a sort of more historic, accurate version of Loki with the sort of barbarian.
It's like a Viking Loki. It's like a Viking Loki. Kind of looked a bit similar to the oh god, what's it called? The Loki that rules the universe. What's it called? The god? Is it? I can't remember what it's called. It's in the books. There's a Loki variant. We talked about it last week. What the hell is the name of it? The God King Loki. It kind of looked a bit weirdly like the God King Loki. I thought the Tour de France Loki. I will say he's definitely doping. Just and then it wasn't really Hulk, was it? It was kind of like almost like a Wendigo-esque kind of Loki. Yeah. It's all furry and like bestial, which I don't know. Like a feral Loki. I don't know what that. I mean, it doesn't have to be from anything necessarily, but it's just it was an interesting look with Hiddleston's tiny head on it.
Yeah,
hulking body with a tiny little bean head on top of it. The delicious Hiddleston beans.
Later on, we got to see a report that mentions the events of Ragnarok. Which included the Revengers, and of course all the events that happened. I think even the runtime was in the report as well. Movie runtime.
I think you're right. There's a few bits you kind of just before we skip too far ahead on that. There's also the reveal of the this massive archival building in the TVA, which has all the kind of records, and that's. All the floors kind of link back to the elevator buttons, don't they? Except the floor that Loki's on, weirdly. I think it's like 247 or something like that is the floor he's on. I can't remember which
237, which is supposed to be a particular issue to do with
I don't think it's TVA. It's to do with the TVA.
Yeah.
But also, so the whole just going back to the base plot of this, guys, is that Loki he's after the first episode where he's had the reveal of like he died and his glorious purpose turned out to be nothing. He's now got it in his head that he wants to meet the timekeepers. That's his new Loki mission, is he wants to have an audience with the timekeepers. Now we as viewers still don't know whether that is for nefarious purposes or whether that is for benevolent purposes. Like, we don't know whether he's doing it because he wants to overthrow and kill them, or whether he wants to get something from them that he's not going to get from anyone else, because he realizes that they're the most powerful beings in the universe, it seems. So he's trying to... Sorry, go on, Zane.
I was just going to say, on the subject of the timekeepers, we get to see a detailed statue of them in Venora's office. Yes. Which includes her trophies, which also has her helmet, which has her debut issue number plastered on the side of it.
You nerd. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, the timekeepers think. So one of the things that happens is that Loki tries to access. So he's in this archive, basically trying to hunt down. They think they might have missed something because they've missed the variant Loki again, the evil variant Loki again. So Loki is in this big archive trying to find information that might have been missed, which we'll get onto in a second. And then he asks for information on the creation of time, and it's classified. He asks for information on the end of time, and it's classified. He asks for information on the timekeepers themselves, and it's classified. So we don't know whether that is like classified just to him, but it raises so many questions about whether or not do these timekeepers really exist. Is the first thing that I thought when I heard that. It was like, is this not a method? Because one of the big things about the first episode was, Loki makes that famous comment in the Avengers about, you people were made to be ruled. And the illusion that you were given is free will.
Yeah.
And they made a big deal out of the fact that, like, he did not have any control over his life at all. It was all predetermined. It was all predestined. And so I'm wondering if the TVA is set up and these timekeepers have been placed there as a method of control, because as was revealed, Mobius believes in it. And he believes in it so blindly, he will give himself over to it completely. And so my immediate thought was, after I heard that everything was classified on creation of time and, him and everything else, wouldn't it's so setting up to say they aren't real at all.
It's basically
go on.
A Wizard of Oz, isn't it? You pull back the curtain and it's just... Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if... Genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised if it was if we get Marvel tend to do a lot of quirky things with their characters. Marvel Cinematic Universe, sorry. They tend to mix and match, or they mix up origins of people, or they change things completely. Like, for example, Scott Lang is Ant-Man. Scott Lang was not the original Ant-Man. Obviously, Hank Pym was, and Hank Pym was the creator of Ultron. In the MCU, he is not the creator of Ultron. Tony Stark is. In fact, Hank Pym is not really associated at all with the Avengers. He was his own thing back in like the 50s and 40s. And that's an example of how Marvel just mix things up. So there's a very high possibility that Kang. So in the comic books, so we had it revealed that Kang the Conqueror has been cast in Quantum Mania, the new Ant-Man movie. In the comics, Kang is a kind of huge Avengers level big bad in the Marvel comics. He is a time traveler who he's basically a cosmic time traveling tyrant who was Iron Lad when he was first started, and he grows up and basically becomes a time traveler, goes back in time, conquers a load of people. He's all over the shop. Like, there's a lot of stuff about Kang that is it, but he's a big bad. I wouldn't be surprised if they're changing it in the MCU and he's a good guy. Really? Nobody's considered that. Nobody's considered it. because like, what if he's the one who establishes the TVA as a method of control? What if he's the one who sets it up? What if at the end of Loki it's revealed that the TVA was created by somebody with the sole purpose of keeping everything in line for their own nefarious means, maybe, or for like some glorious purpose? But what if it was Kang?
I kind of expect him to be, again, the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, or if it's not him, it would be his love interest. Who we know is the love interest in the comics, Varoma.
Yep.
Or Varoma. I think it's pronounced Varoma.
Varoma. But anyway, I sorry, I went off on one again then. But yeah, very, very much. I don't think the timekeepers really exist. I think this is all just a method of control.
Yeah.
And it just pulls back into that argument of free will and whether or not there is actually free will in the MCU and whether it's fate. We haven't mentioned the Watchers either, by the way.
Not yet. Okay. Not yet. But one thing we should mention is Roxcart, aka Roxxon.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I guess do you want to talk about that, or do you want to talk about the revelation about how the variant Loki's been hiding? Because that was pretty cool.
It was good. I mean, we could talk about it.
So I would like to just touch on the fact that Loki was at the destruction of Pompeii, because that is fantastic. When he talks about freeing the goats, he says, "Be free, my horned friends, be free." That's fantastic. It's so good. Yeah, so again, guys, so obviously for those of you who watch the episode or who are watching this for your breakdown of what happens in Loki, Loki discovers after the revelation of Ragnarok, which he didn't know about either. That's another good thing that we get pointed out to him. He didn't know that Ragnarok happened. Anyway, after the revelation, interestingly as well, by the way, he plays it off later on when he's talking to Mobius, but genuine emotion at the knowledge of Asgard being destroyed.
Yeah.
He genuinely is upset about it, which is, again, I think it plays quite nicely into this, and a very awesome sentence by him is that nobody is ever true. No bad people are ever truly bad, and no good people are ever truly good.
Yeah, I've seen that come up a few times online, where everyone was, people were kind of like, well, Steve Rogers was great. I mean, he was Captain America. The serum said he was great. But then you kind of think, yeah, but he kind of went back in time for his own.
Well, no, I wouldn't use the go back in time as an example. Steve Rogers, yes, he's a very good man. And yes, he is an epitome of what it takes to be a good man inside. Steve Rogers also broke the law and went against the government he swore to defend in order to basically save a mate. Now, look, whether you want to, I am Team Cap, by the way, all the way as far as Civil War is concerned. I'm 100% Team Cap, but like, he could have worked with Tony. They could have worked something out. There was another way. He didn't tell Tony that Bucky killed his parents. Like, he knew, and he didn't tell him. That's not cool, man. That you can say what you want about Team Cap or Team Iron Man. That's not cool. If you knew, if you had that knowledge, that would have stopped ever. Imagine if Bucky had come on the scene. Imagine a Civil War movie.
Yeah,
I know this is ridiculous because it's written, so don't but bear with me. But like, imagine a Civil War movie where Cap had told Iron Man, by the way, Bucky as the Winter Soldier killed your family before any of it.
Yeah.
It never would have happened. Anyway, it's much of a muchness, but yeah. So anyway, they start scouring apocalypses basically for for Loki, for the Loki variant, and then they find it's the bubble gum that he's given to the kid in the previous episode that is the winner, which, as you so rightly said, introduces Rock's card. Would you like to talk a little bit about Roxxon, Senpai Zane?
Yeah, well, it's sort of rival technology company to Stark Industries, or in some variations it has been. People might be more familiar with it from the Miles Morales video game, as they're the sort of main bad corporation in that video game. But I didn't realize this, but apparently there's quite a few like logos and Easter eggs throughout all 3 Iron Man movies for Roxxon. So they definitely exist in the MCU, and this is definitely a way to plant that flag.
Yeah, I remember from Iron Man 1, there's a billboard when he's fighting with Ironmonger at the end. There's a billboard for the Roxxon Corp. I don't remember it in 2 and 3. They're featured very prominently as well in the Agent Carter series. The Roxxon Corporation is featured very heavily there. So obviously we know we have this. You and I have this theory that all of those TV shows are like Nexus variants from the timeline, which I really like, and I'm totally buying into. The Roxxon Corporation. I can't remember whether it's been a while since I've seen the Agent Carter series, but there's this kind of like weird fluidy, like gravitonium material.
Right.
It's featured quite heavily in the first series of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and in Agent Carter.
Oh, right.
And I think Roxxon are paying whoever the scientists are in season 2. They work for Roxxon to work out what this stuff is. So Roxxon is featured quite heavily in Peggy Carter. So they've been batting around for a while. In the comics, they are a huge corporation that's normally in the background. I believe they're run by a demon. I think that their CEO can turn into a demon. Is that right?
Yeah, or I believe in some variations a Minotaur as well.
A Minotaur, that's it. It's a Minotaur. You're right. It is. Yes, it is. They're never like an AE. That there are more prevalent tech corporations that are evil, a la AIM. Advanced Ideas Mechanic is the first one that comes to mind, which was or Hammer, exactly, which was totally wasted in Iron Man 3. I hope, if there's one thing I hope they do bring in, I hope they do bring AIM in. I haven't seen it yet, but did you see that they've got the MODOK TV series is now out on Disney Plus?
I've been watching it. I've watched the first 2 episodes.
It's the Patton Oswalt one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it good? I need to watch
robot
it.
Chicken style.
Yes. It's comedy, isn't it? It's a very comedy-esque.
Yeah. There's some good references in there. I wouldn't say it's as funny as the Harley Quinn show.
Okay. Yeah, I need to. I'll give it a whirl. But Roxxon, they don't really have, aside from their Minotaur CEO, they don't really have like a when you think of these groups like Hydra, you think of like, well, there's Red Skull, there's Zemo, there's Madam Hydra, there's Arnim Zola. When you think of AIM, there's Graviton, there's MODOK that we just talked about. Yeah. Whereas Roxxon, I don't know of any named or many. I don't know many named associates of Roxxon that are like representative of that company.
Yeah.
So they're kind of one of those ones that just fall into the background as like generic, industrial baddies who are trying to do wrong. And they've modified it. So it's obviously in the year 2050, Roxxon has expanded out into the supermarket chain.
The retail business.
Have become Roxcart. Interesting.
We get introduced to...
And a hurricane sale as well. They're having a hurricane sale, which suggests that they do most of their best business during natural disasters, which I thought was quite interesting. I'm not sure where they're going with that, but there you go.
We get to finally cross paths with the mystery variant who doesn't like to be called Loki.
So I have my own theory about this, which I don't know if it's going to come up later. I'm looking at the notes now, and I think it probably is. This is not Loki. It's not Loki at all. It's definitely not Loki.
The question that I was going to ask the viewers, if they truly believe this is Lady Loki. Do you, my friend, are saying it's not?
It's not.
Do explain.
Not. It's Enchantress. Like, it is. Like, literally, like, from the very beginning of the episode, like from when you, so right, but we missed a bit at the Renaissance Fair, by the way. So we get revealed this variant person later on, and they, at the beginning of the episode, they kidnap a Minuteman, somebody from the TVA. They kidnap them. Now it's different because they've only been taking the bombs from them, or the reality, the trimmers, or whatever they call it, resets. Thank you. They've only been taking that from the TVA agents originally, whereas this time they kidnap somebody. And right at the beginning of the episode, the first thing that happens is, so if you're familiar with the comics, and if you're familiar with the Asgardian comics and that side of the if you've seen Enchantress, the way that she controls people, she uses enchantments on them, and she has this green magic that she uses to do it. The very first thing that you see in this episode is somebody having a female hand for a start, from this cloaked figure that we didn't know who it was, a female hand, and doing green magic, like very similar to Scarlet Witch's hex magic when she hexes Iron Man and people in the Age of Ultron, and like she uses that on this guy, and I was like, immediately I was like, that's Enchantress. Like the second I saw that, before I'd seen anything else in the whole episode, that's Enchantress. 100% is. And then the fact that so Loki has never been able to my knowledge in the MCU, correct me if I'm wrong, Zane, Loki has never been able to take over people's minds without the staff.
Correct.
It's not something he does, and it's not something that the variants do. As you know, they did make a point of establishing them. There's different powers that these Lokis have in different variations. I really either what's happened is they've either merged Enchantress with Lady Loki, and they're going to call her Lady Loki, which I think would be rubbish. I hope they're not doing that. Or they've done a swerve, and it is Enchantress. It's not Lady Loki. I mean, we can. Do you want to keep going with it? Do you want to talk about Lady Loki for a bit, just to give an establishment of who she is?
For those who are unsure about Lady Loki, like, what do we mean, Lady Loki? What? So, funny enough, Lady Loki has been around in the comics since 2008 till about 2014, where the original Sin event took place, where we learned she is a version of Loki that resides inside of Loki himself, very similar to the other versions of Loki, because there's Kid Loki as well, which again we see in the comics and whatnot. The creators of Lady Loki, the comic book version, were also listed in the credits. So again, it's leaning into the idea of Lady Loki, but I agree with you. I don't think this is Lady Loki. We may see her, we may see Kid Loki later down the line as well, but I don't think this is her now.
So just to also, because there might also be some people who are who are listening to this who have no idea who Enchantress is. Yes. So Enchantress is a supervillain. She is majority based in Thor and Loki comics, in Asgardian comics. I'm not sure if she actually is an Asgardian. I was just thinking about having a look at that, because I can't remember whether she is or not.
I remember her.
She is Asgardian. She is Asgardian.
TV series as well.
In the 80s TV series, did you say?
Sorry, in the animated cartoon TV shows and stuff.
She's normally with another guy, isn't she? She's normally with Butcher, I think, is it?
Ooh, not but Butcher, yeah.
Yeah, so it's normally the two of them together, but we've already had Butcher because he was in Ragnarok, so you can't use him. But her main idea is that she is an enchanter of men and uses
Is
them.
it Surge the Destroyer? Sorry, I'm just.
Oh no, you're right. It is Surge.
Butcher is who he is in
Butcher
Boys.
is who he is in Boys. Yeah, it's Carl Urban. Yes, it's Surge. Surge and Enchantress. Yes, you're right. Yes. God, that completely threw me. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. So she's obviously a stunningly beautiful Asgardian woman who can basically make people do whatever she wants. She enchants them using magic. I'm not sure what her relationship is to. She's not any. I don't think she's any relation to Thor or Loki, but she's a persistent bad guy in Thor. She comes up a lot, and we've yet to see her in the MCU. So I think again, it could be another classic Marvel swerve. It could be another classic thing of them merging together characters. But after watching this episode, more than anything, I am absolutely convinced, and I'm also, by the way, more convinced by my theory about what I said last week about Richard E. Grant now as a result of it.
Yeah.
I'm super convinced of that.
So, I think you're right in that regard. Like maybe Enchantress, shall we say, is working for either an older Loki who is Richard E. Grant or, again, some sort of variation. Another sort of clue as well is in the Spanish cast list. Instead of being called Variant Loki, our mystery variant was actually called Sylvia, which is supposed to be the Enchantress's birth name.
Is it? I thought her name was Amora. I can't remember. I thought it was that. Wasn't it like I thought that it was didn't it translate into, because I thought, isn't Sylvie the name of the lady who's playing her? Or have I completely gone off the rails? I might have gone off the rails again. This might be another clip for you. This could be another great clip for you. I'm gonna have to look now. I'm gonna have to look and see. Sylvie...
Also having a look.
No, wait. You're right. No, it's Sylvie. You are right. I think it's. I thought her name was Amora, but you're right. It might be. Oh God, I'm trying to think of what her name was. It like an alter ego name of like Sylvie Lushton or something like that?
I think so. I think you might be on to the right lines.
I think we might both be right. Just to save myself from another clip on the channel by Senpai. Yeah. No, I thought her name was Amora. Her Asgardian name is Amora, but it might be that her other name is Sylvie. Like what you know her as is Sylvie, like when she's on Earth and stuff. I don't know. This is a rabbit hole. I'm falling into a rabbit hole. Save me, Zane. Save me.
So we finally got to see what the plan was for all those reset charges. We got to see them being connected up, and then a nice little timer, and then boop, they all went through the little portal windows.
Yes.
Creating multiple Nexus events and maybe a multiverse
of madness. Yeah. I don't. It's
going to happen.
Yeah, it is going to happen. It's definitely going to happen because they've announced a film about it. But but my only reservation about saying that is that we're on episode. Well, next week is episode 3.
Yeah.
So if they're going to spend the rest of the episode, like the rest of the series, with just like everything's chaos now, it feels weird. It does feel weird like that. It does feel weird like that. By the way, it was the Executioner that I was thinking of was the partner of Enchantress.
Executioner.
Yes. So So that I just literally looked it up now whilst you were talking because I was like, "That's good. We're gonna get comments. We're gonna get a lot of comments." I can't be wrong again. It's gonna be bad. Yeah, Multiverse of Madness. I mean, I don't know is the answer.
Okay.
Because I think it's too soon.
Yeah, I think it might be a little soon as well. But I did make a few notes of the times and dates that popped up on the screen. So we have Niflheim from Thor: The Dark World, Von Meer from Infinity War, of course, Asgard, but more specifically 2014 Asgard.
That's the Dark Elves. Is that the Dark Elves? Is that when it's supposed to take place?
I don't know if the movie came out around then, though.
I know, but the current MCU is set in 2023, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's a 5-year time skip in
Endgame.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if it's yeah, 2014 would line up for Dark World, by the way. Yes, it would. Or 2013, 2014, because Thor came out in 2011.
Oh, wow.
And then Avengers came out in 2012.
Yeah.
So then, that would make sense. So then it would be 2013 when Dark World came out. 2014, yeah.
We got Sakaar, but 1984.
Just get over that. I will say this. Somebody mentioned it, actually. Loki has definitely made Thor: The Dark World a lot more important.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was this throwaway movie, and now it's just like, oh no, there's a lot of good in that. Like, there's a lot of good stuff.
I think Love and Thunder is going to make it more relevant as well.
Possibly. Oh, can we have a good Malekith?
Yeah, please.
That'd be amazing.
Ego in 1382, which makes no sense.
Ego was dumping his seed all over the place, wasn't he?
Mid-action.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh no, wait. Heroes don't do that.
Ego's definitely not a hero.
Titan in 1982.
Was it in 82? Titan in 82, was it?
That's what the date came up. So it could be, say, a young Thanos, or I say a younger Thanos could have been reset or something. I don't know. But apparently a charge went there.
That's not that long ago. Like, because Titan was, Titan is obviously, so the Senpai's obviously given a little bit of the game away. Titan's the home world of Thanos that we see in Infinity War that is completely ravaged and is destroyed. It seems like 1982 is a bit too, like, early for that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's early for Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because Thanos is pretty, like, when you see Thanos in Infinity War, he has a galaxy. Ironically enough, he's got like a galaxy-spanning annihilation wave that it's massive. His armada, and you would think that it would have taken him slightly more than 20, 30 years to amass that. He's an Eternal, so like,
I think with some of these dates and where it's happened, I think it might be to do with like galactic wars that have taken place. So, for example, he talks about there was a famine and things like that in Infinity War.
Yes.
What if that was the spark that started fire?
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I think that's definitely. I think it is definitely the idea is that it was the variation on the war that destroyed Titan. I am 100%.
Oh, end it.
With you. I'm 100%. Yeah, exactly. I'm 100% with you on that. It's just it's like what we were just talking about with Thor: The Dark World. It's the time frames on that I'm confused about. Because that's what, like 39 years ago now. 1982, or sorry, 1982. So like, that's not a lot of time. For when you see Thanos in Infinity War, he's been scouring the universe for Infinity Stones, and I'm like, that is a pretty impressive work rate that he's managed to find universe-altering Infinity Stones in 30 years.
Yes. There's more dates and places.
Yeah, go on.
New York, 1947, which people have pointed out that's around about the same time as Agent Carter.
Yes, it is.
I
Roxxon.
think I pronounced it. Oh, say that again.
Roxxon. That's Agent Carter.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, yeah. It's like I said, that's the Roxxon Corporation is heavily featured in Agent Carter. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to get more of an introduction of them coming in the future.
Hala, home world of the Kree. They were also mentioned in that list, as well as Xander,
Captain Marvel.
but 2001.
Yeah, that one's really interesting to me. So Xandar is featured in Guardians of the Galaxy. It is the home of the Nova Corps. So it's a shame that they don't really do the series anymore. I'm a huge fan of Nova, the character Nova. So for those of you who don't really know, I'll give you a very brief, I'll try and keep it very brief, history of the Nova Corps. So the Nova Corps are basically galactic peacekeepers as you see them in Guardians. And they have this thing called the World Mind, which is effectively like an AI archive computer. And what that computer does is it distributes out this Nova Force power to all of the agents. So it's kind of a little bit like a weird kind of version of the Green Lanterns, except they don't have rings. Now, in the books, there is a cataclysmic event, and I haven't read it for a while, so I can't remember what that event is. But basically, the Nova Corps is destroyed, completely wiped out. All the agents die, everyone. And then that power of the Nova Force, the mind, the AI mind still has that power, and it imbues it in one person, who is Richard Rider, and Richard Rider becomes Nova, and like he is super powerful because he has this entire Nova Force inside him, and he becomes Nova. So the fact that they have skirted around Xandar quite a few times, because I know Feige likes Nova. I know that he wanted to introduce him, and I know that James Gunn doesn't like Nova and didn't want to introduce him, which is why he wasn't in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Because
there's like costume designs and everything, wasn't there? Like in their like art books and stuff. Yeah.
Feige wants to bring him in, but I know that James Gunn doesn't. James Gunn doesn't like the character, so it's the only thing that me and James Gunn disagree on, apart from his horrible jokes that he made a long time ago. He's a great character, and that again, Xandar 2001. I wonder if they're gonna, this is all part of this multiverse of madness. Maybe that event destroys Xandar in 2001, and that's how we get Nova.
Potentially, then.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I think what we're probably seeing here is the spark of a lot of heroes. This is probably what the next phase is going to come into, where you have all this dimensional stuff and there's all this change after Nexus events and all this kind of stuff going on. I really wouldn't be surprised. Or it could be nothing again, and it could be Marvel just
going, be nothing.
Here you go, nerds. Have a bunch of things to analyze.
There we go. But let us know what you think in the comments down below. If you listen to this on your favorite podcast platform, then we want to know your thoughts as well. So again, just drop a comment so we know what you're thinking, and let us know if we missed anything, because we're always looking to know all the different Easter eggs, and we want those little gems.
We love the Infinity Gems. But yeah, just as a closing thing on that. So you're now convinced it's not Lady Loki, right? You're pretty sure it's
100%
as well. Okay. So then my theory last week, we're gonna keep this through until. So first of all, was this episode disputed or undisputed for you? That's our measuring scale for things, by the way, guys. If it's disputed, we don't think it's good. If it's undisputed, it's good, and there's no middle ground.
I thought it was undisputed.
I would agree. I thought it was also undisputed. It was nice to see that we did finally see Loki on the upper Hogan scale with his variant, his hench variant. That was good. He went full Hogan. Just throwing in all our usual stuff right at the end. I think I'm going to bring it up every week now, but I'm sticking with this theory of like Richard E. Grant is playing the big bad in this. And I genuinely, I really 100% think that Marvel are doing a double swerve. And I really do think he is going to be Mephisto. I really do. I'm more convinced of it now. After seeing Enchantress, I'm more convinced than ever. Like I'm so it makes like whether or not they do it. If they don't do it, then fine. I'm like, what's his name? Voss from New Rockstars, and I just got lured in like he did on WandaVision. But like, dude, like, it's the Enchantress. Like she lures men. Like she enchants men with promises of power and God knows what else. Like who the hell could control her? Probably the devil. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just.
I hear you.
I hear what you're saying. For it. And like that stained glass window, I'm convinced it is the ultimate swerve. It is the ultimate swerve because everyone pointed at it and goes, "Nah, it's too on the nose. It's pointing at the devil. It's not going to be Mephisto." And then they'll turn around and it will be. I am convinced of it.
Oh dear!
But he's definitely like Richard E. Grant's definitely the big bad in it. It's just I think we can both agree on that. It's just who he's playing at the moment is where it kind of lies. And yeah, it was a good episode. Really excited to see where it goes from here.
Good episode.
The other thing I was going to bring up just quickly as well. Sorry. Was my new theory as well about Mobius. Ooh. So after this episode, there was so much talk about trusting rogue variants and trusting people. I think Mobius is going to turn out to be a variant of somebody that we know in the MCU. I think he's going to turn out to. I don't know who it is necessarily right now. Whether it's like I was talking to my wife about this, and she was saying Howard Stark, which I thought was quite a cool idea. What if Mobius is like a variant of Howard Stark with the dodgy mustache and everything?
Yeah, and the silver hair.
Exactly. So I thought it was. I think that's why he has a soft spot for Loki being a variant, because he was one. Yeah. And he now believes in the TVA and has become part of the system, but he started as a variant. Probably it was what's her name? What's the lady's name? Varoma or whatever her name is. She probably gave him the break in the same way that he gave.
I see what you mean.
Loki. Yeah. I just wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case.
I like it. I still think he's going to die by the end of it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, he'll probably die, but I think it'll probably be revealed that he was a variant of somebody.
Yeah,
and that's why
I like it though.
Yeah, I mean, again, they've played around with this a lot. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be funny if it was like a variant of Thor. Wow,
that'd be right on the nose. No, I like that theory. That's quite cool. I like it.
Thank you.
Anyways,
that one I definitely that's all me, baby. It's probably out there, and there's probably someone else who's come up with that. But like that's just from me watching it. That's not from any new Rockstar stuff or anything else, guys. That is all in my head. That one. So if anyone else is out there who's done it, then let me know, because I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories. I'm still waiting for that fanfic as well from Senpai and Batfleck. So please. We'll do the usual plugs, as it seems like we're winding down now. So it's mail. So it's nerd.undisputed@gmail.com, guys. Send in any stuff you want, including weird fanfic of Senpai and Batfleck.
Yeah, as well as your various affections for Channing Tatum as Superman.
No, yours.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go with the Hiddleston thing then, which was like, I was about to say, I'll make my own up of that. But like,
exactly. I thought it'd be you would love it too much. So
yeah, why would I want it? Like, yeah, sorry, like you're not going to love
Batfleck.
Something
he doesn't want.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Yeah. Good. What a great idea. What a great idea.
Absolutely. Zane. I'll paint it myself and then put it on the wall.
Who else did we say? Oh, there was someone else last week. Oh yeah, Gent Snackles as well. Yeah, you'll love Gent.
Yeah.
We're just making a list. The list of Zane.
Commission list, by the sounds of it.
Who's on the
Some
list?
artist's going to be like, now pay me.
Yeah. Oh, dearie me.
Okay. So, again, please let us know your thoughts. Of course, if you want to follow us on our favorite social medias, they will be linked in the description down below. You
My
can follow
thoughts
me
was about
on
to be something that would get us
Instagram.
kicked off the live stream.
You can follow me on Instagram at senpai_Zane, as well as on Twitter with the same handle. You'll be doing some streaming.
Sorry, was that a question to me?
Yeah.
Man, you are hungry. You need to get some food. Like, your mind is being fogged. Yes, you can find me on Twitch, ladies and gentlemen, twitch.tv/gentlemangamer30. I will be around after this stream in probably about half an hour's time doing some Resident Evil.
Nice.
Yes, come join me. Come have fun and watch me swear a lot more than I have done on this. Providing, of course, there's no technical difficulties. And there's obviously, please, if you are enjoying our work and you are enjoying our live streams and the podcasts, if you're listening to it as a podcast, then please spread the word. Get the name out there. It really does help us, even if you just pass along to just one of your friends and say, just give it a listen, give it a try. But yeah, getting our name out there is the way forward. So yeah, if you could just share alike, that would be fantastic. And obviously get in touch and send us anything you want, within reason. Thank you very much for listening, guys. It is much appreciated, and we love you. We love you lots.
As always, relevant links will be in the description down below. And thank you so much for listening. And we'll no doubt catch you on next week's episode about episode 3.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for watching.